at the end of the day, if you're assessing the counter movement jump different every time, and you're assessing the isometric mid thigh pull differently every time, your data is no good, right? Like I've seen some individuals where instead of standardizing their counter movement jump, whether that be the language that they use, hands on hips versus using hands to actually assist in the jump, whatever it is, they just kind of, free solo the thing that way. And I do think in order to make informed decisions off of the data that you collect, you do need to standardize your counter movement jump or your rebound jump if you're doing the rebounds. You need to standardize your ISO thigh pull, whether that be, based on rack height or angle from the floor, or actually measuring the length of the femur and then kind of rolling from there. It doesn't matter to me how you standardize it, just that you've standardized everything so that you have a process that is repeatable moving forward and your data is now reliable, valid. You can repeat it again, and the data actually means something that you can draw from. Like I've had athletes, and I even tried it myself, thinking that I had a great ISO thigh pull, and then I tried the ISO belt squat, and my force output was like 1,000 newtons higher. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, this changes a lot. This changes everything, actually. And even some of the athletes that I was working with, their thigh pulls, maybe 350 pounds force output for some of the high school females I was working with. And then their belt squats were 500 plus pound force output. And I was looking at, how we were loading them. And I was like, man, they can put out a lot more force than, what we've given them credit for. So I do think this is a very helpful assessment from a programming standpoint, from a, coach clinician feedback standpoint. And I do think, as you mentioned, from that DSI score, you can then go about developing, some kind of plan, whether that be more on the maximal strength training side, more on the ballistic side, depending on where they fall from that DSI calculation that way. Is their force output in the ISO test significantly higher than the jump or vice versa that way? And I think the other piece is, sometimes athletes are really good at both, right? They put a ton of force out and jump really good, and they're also ridiculously freaking strong with the ISO thigh pull. But that doesn't mean that there's still not room to get better. It's just showing you kind of like a seesaw, if you will, where they lean towards more of the isometric force production or the counter movement force production, if you will.